You know what we about to do? We about to vibe. Hey. Shout outs to what? Cardi B.
Shout outs to Cardi B. And Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Huh? 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Every day.
No, but I'm just saying, she don't necessarily mean like paid whores. She mean like freaky girls. I mean, I'm thinking the way I see it, she's using like a street term, but there's just girls
that hoes in the house.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I mean,
it's to every hoe out here, man.
I'm just saying, like I'm perceiving it as girls that are comfortable with their sexuality to not be afraid to enjoy sex.
Huh? Hey. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, but you know, some people do get carried away, like with sex. Like they do give all their money for sex. Like I'm just saying.
Shout out to all the what Megan Thee Stallion called them? I forgot what she be calling them, but
I mean, I'm just saying, like guys and girls alike.
Yeah,
they give away they savings for sex. I'm just saying.
Extra large and extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. I wanna ride. I do a giggle. What is inside? My mouth.
Yo, we about to get like 13 strikes off the back.
Oh
right?
my god!
This part can't even probably go on YouTube.
I mean,
right?
this is not PG. It's not PG-13.
Pussy is wet.
Whoa!
Tie me up like I'm surprised. That's no play. I wear disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac.
I'm just saying though, sex is a natural thing. It's just the way people perceive it. Like, oh yeah, that's taboo. That's like something we ain't supposed to talk about. But it is natural.
Right in this little garage. Hey. Cream, make me scream. I don't public, make a scene. I don't cook, I don't clean. But let me tell you, I got this ring.
Follow me, drip.
Oh, so she be ordering like Uber Eats, I guess. She don't clean or she.
Shout out to women that do both, whatever it is that works for you.
I mean, not for nothing, but not all women do know how to cook.
Right.
But those women that do know how to cook,
right.
I prefer home cooked meals before any out like
shout out to the women that cook. Shout out to the men that cook.
Here we go.
Everybody, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Not here.
Jump out for you, let it get inside of me and tell them where to put it. Never tell them where I'm about to be. I'm running down on them before I have a nigga running me. Talk your shit, bite your lip. Ask for a call while you ride that dick. Why you really ain't never got him fucking for a thing. He already made his mind up before he came.
Is that true?
What?
She's giving out advice, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, she's rapping, but you know. She said he already made up his mind before he came, meaning if he's gonna spend his money, he's gonna do it before even, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think some people probably are infatuated to the point where they're like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna keep this.
Yeah.
I quote unquote love this, but they don't really.
You think she's just saying it on some like a rapper, like some rappers say they shoot people. They're not shooting people, but. You think she's saying it for like a swag point, or you think she really lives by that kind of code?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, because like a lot of guys, you know, in most cases, not in every case, but in a lot of cases, a lot of times guys are, you know, they feel like, oh, I'm gonna get this girl, I bag this girl, but, and, you know, the way I see it is that the girl already decided whether she was.
She decided. That's what I'm saying.
Your boots, hang your coat for this wet ass pussy. He bought a phone just for pictures of this wet ass pussy. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet ass pussy.
But I'm just saying, like society has it like that where it's accepted that way.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
But that's not always the case because women pay for the D as well. I'm not gonna say what it is.
But I'm not gonna lie, Megan came out ready to rap. She got something to come off her chest. I'm guessing she's trying to come back in a strong way or whatever. Let's switch it up, for real. Hey. Let's try not to get. We keep getting smoked on some site. I'm not gonna say what the site is, but they keep going like, all right, you guys are playing music.
Well, yeah, you know.
Anybody?
Yeah, I got copyright clearance, and thank you.
Eyes can't see, she just wanna dance and tease. She just wanna dance and tease me.
Woo! This that Island song?
She just wanna dance and tease me.
So you're gonna have a problem with this song because this song you just kind of want to let rock. You might have to cut this.
I know. It's hard for me to even talk during the song, but let me just say this. This is the kind of song that you're on the beach at night and you just laughing and just throwing your head back.
Let's try to get 15
She
seconds.
just wanna dance and tease me. She just wanna dance and tease me.
Nice. She just want to dance and tease me.
Missing. You've been missing since 2016. So tell me what fix things. You know that's my sister. When she speak, I listen.
That's what I'm talking
She
about.
swears you're mine.
All right.
I want to hear a little bit more.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
I see everything different. I see. By your heart, I see. Come, baby, come try.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, you know, hold on. you know when you got that rhythm when you're on the dance floor, and you don't always get that person you actually feel comfortable dancing with.
Right.
But when you do get that person that you feel comfortable dancing with, you enjoying yourself like no other time. It's like time just stands still and you're just in another world, or you're just in that world together.
I've been waiting for a song like this for a while. With Drake and Party Next Door. This is fire. I've been looking forward to this. The last one was okay.
Right.
This is what I want more of collaboration with them.
Too many twists and turns, twists and turns.
Yeah. Shout out to Drake. Shout out to Canada.
Hey,
Baby, come here, I too fry.
speaking of Canada, your boy Tory Lanez got deported to Canada, man. Cause
wow.
I don't know, man.
Things didn't work out.
We ain't getting no.
Shout out to Tory Lanez. Canada's in the top 10 countries of our show.
Shout out to Canada.
Shout out to Canada being in the top 10 countries of downloads for David Talks.
All right, let's get it in.
All right. Here we go. Good morning. I'm David, and this is David Talks.
I'm Dave, back on David Talks.
All right, let's go with this diaper award. I'm walking down the street, and this guy is just like, and you know, you walking down the street, I have my mask on, and I'm walking, and this guy is, first off, I could tell the guy, you know what? I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but my perception is he was scamming, right? He was in a wheelchair, but he seemed like he could just
get up and walk.
And I'm not saying that's the case, but that's the perception that I had with him, and he was being very intimidating. He's like, "You got any change?" And I'm walking. I looked at him, and I just nodded my head like this. He like, you ain't got no change. He kept on with it. You got change. I'm like, I got change. I got change for me. You know what I mean? So that intimidating manipulation of trying to make you feel like bad for not giving that change is like, something I don't
condone.
I don't condone at all. It's very disappointing, and it's harassing when someone's you ain't got change, like constantly like trying to remind me, make me think, trying to get in my head that's scam. I'm not, and I know some people need it.
Right.
I know people do need money and help.
Right.
And I get that. And when I decide to do that, that's something I do.
He just went about it the wrong way.
The way he was doing it was just very distasteful and just manipulative, and I did not appreciate that. I'm gonna give him about 3.5 diapers. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice.
Yo,
I'm trying to be nice.
If y'all smart enough to know the joke I was about to make. Hey, you.
What?
Nah, man, this is crazy.
What?
I can't say it, man. Shout out to him. He gets adult diapers though. Shout out to him. 3 adult diapers.
3 adult diapers? Oh, not bad. All right, we're agreeing right now. Okay. Initially,
I'm not gonna give.
You ain't gonna give him 3 diapers?
Nah.
How many giving him?
He gets like a diaper. His own diaper.
He gets his own diaper? Oh wow, his own adult diaper. Wow. Except I'm not convinced that's the case. I'm just saying. I'm not convinced that's the case, and I know that people do know.
No, I'm not convinced either. I mean, you already know the scams.
Yeah,
that's why I said the joke. So shout out to that boy right there.
Yeah, definitely. What you got? What you
yeah, he gets only one day. For me, I was coming from the mall and I got in an Uber, and Uber driver's acting all crazy, driving like a lunatic, like going 100 miles an hour nowhere, trying to cut people off,
right.
and trying to get into accidents, and he's just still not going nowhere. But not only was he driving recklessly,
yeah,
he was driving bad. He was just bad driving, shaking, getting me dizzy. I'm like trying to cue him, like
those are those Uber drivers that I'm like, oh yeah, he's an Uber driver. And it's not always obviously Uber driver, Lyft drivers, or taxi drivers, and you're just like, wow, this driver's terrible.
Yeah, but it's always Uber that has the drivers that's kind of like they're drunk or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
was he on his phone talking while he was driving?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how I guess that. Pretty typical. I'm not gonna go any further into it, but anyone that takes Uber knows exactly where we're coming from in that regard. People always on their phone, and then they honking their horns at people not driving correctly, swearing all over the road.
And that's my thing. I don't even care. Be on your phone, but be conscious of your surroundings.
Right.
Be conscious of your passengers and everybody else that's in the car. Like, and I'm over here saying that I'm getting sick. He's just not even really paying attention. So I'm just kind of like 5 seconds away from telling him. But I like my score on Uber, so I'm trying to keep that little.
Keep that 5 star.
Yeah, he definitely gets a diaper from me, maybe.
Diaper?
Yeah, he gets a solid, nasty diaper.
But
yeah, that was my own little personal annoyance.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm gonna give him one diaper.
Yeah.
Give him one diaper for the day. Like, he gotta sit in that diaper for one day. That kind of diaper.
Yeah.
Maybe that might help him realize, hey, look, something's not quite right here.
Yeah. He's bugging, man.
Maybe I should clean up my act, kind of thing.
Yeah, just, I don't know. And it's crazy, I gotta hit him up too, because I think I left something in the car too. See how these guys are, man?
Well, this is season 2, episode 45. We're getting close to that 50 mark.
Yeah, for sure, man.
For David Talks.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank all those downloads, those top 10 countries. What we got? We got USA. We have the Philippines.
Right.
We have Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
We have Spain. We have the United Kingdom. What's that? We got Dublin, Ireland, England.
Some countries I never heard of.
There's quite a few out
Starting
there.
to spread,
Russia.
Man, yeah.
Shout outs to Russia. Shout outs to all those countries that's been downloading and subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you staying in the top 10.
Mm-hmm. We should do some kind of special state shout out, right? Or country shout out in the top 10s, right? Try to figure that out.
Well, I think we should definitely do the country shout out and
do a story from somebody's country, top 5 countries or something. Right?
That sounds great. Well, top 5, yeah. Well, we could do that for sure.
You was talking to somebody about different stimulus packages that they're getting.
Shout outs to Russia. I was talking to somebody from Russia, and they was explaining how they're the dollar difference. They said that anywhere from $200 to $300 monthly, our US dollar, which
that sounds crazy.
But then I also asked about how much is usually the rents, and it's obviously it differs because of depending on the type of neighborhood you in. But she did say about $400.
Yeah, but she said it wasn't enough.
She said it's nowhere near enough to sustain the way of living and to pay bills.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which in Scotland, I spoke to a gentleman in Scotland, and he said that they don't get a stimulus, but they get their rent and bills paid. So they don't get they get enough, but not enough.
Right.
So and I know stimulus packages around the world. But I also was told in the UK, so the UK is it depends, right? Because 80% of the people in UK are still on salary. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they consider it salary or not. Denmark, 75% are on salary. South
That's a
Korea.
crazy percentage.
It is,
for them
right?
not to be working and getting that much, right?
Well, the thing
It's
is,
working, right?
yeah, but 70%. But then you have South Korea is getting 70. The Netherlands is getting 90% salary. Canada is getting $2,000 per month, which
Canada's getting $2,000 per month.
$2,000 a month. So that's 500, roughly 500. Depends on how many weeks are in the month.
I'm about to move to Canada, man.
Hey, you know, then Australia's getting $1,000 a month.
That's crazy.
So
yeah.
You know, but now the U.S. got a one-time $1,200 check that might take. Well, we're still waiting for one to arrive, and that's not including the unemployment. So I don't know, like that's another system, and I know that the president had made some type of. He's not coming.
Order.
Yeah, did he something about the Senate? They're not agreeing, so he decided to.
Allegedly.
We
don't know yet, man.
The talks is nothing's final.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder. Now, we did get one stimulus package of $1,200, but now another one is still in the works, and then the unemployment is like you get a very small percentage, and people that are getting. Like, let's just face it, there's people in America and all over the world that are working off the books. A lot of businesses can't survive legally, so they pay their employees a small portion legally, and then illegally they pay them the large amount. So a lot of people are not getting enough by a long shot to even be able to pay a phone bill.
Right.
But another thing, shout outs to Russia, that a lot of people, I was told, are working illegally because, like, what I was told was if your salary is $2,000, which is not an easy thing to come by, they're also taxed at $2,000. So the employees actually pay the workers more money, than they would pay them normally. So that way they don't have to pay that huge tax on their employees. So it's interesting how different countries, in regards to taxes and stimulus checks. So it's interesting how different countries deal with these type of things. These real issues that we deal with. A lot of people are like, really? Yeah, really, really. We don't hear about these things usually in the news, but that's why I like to talk to real people and get real experiences versus always relying on what we hear in the news. So these are the experiences and things that people are living with on a day-to-day basis. So I find that to be very, very interesting.
Well, I mean, that's just what's going on around the world. It seems like a lot of politics are involved with certain things. Try to keep the wheel spinning of the economy, and I don't know, man. Something's gonna change, I think, soon. I said it here a couple times.
Yeah. Well, definitely.
Politicians playing politics, right?
Well, yeah, and it's interesting. Shout outs to Frank. I said shout out to Frank last time. I have him on the show real soon, and we're gonna discuss some of the different parties. And I know he wanted to do a debate with someone that didn't want to debate publicly, which there's different reasons, obviously, but I think sometimes people get a little cold feet and they don't really want to like talk openly about it. They'll debate amongst themselves, but not like where on camera or like afraid, like if like what people might say if they don't like what they're saying.
I don't think it's that, man. Shout outs to the man that built down. I don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
But I think what it is once someone says something on camera, they could get fact checked, and that's like a big theme that's going on right now. So Facebook, just recently deleted a group, like a really popular Trump supporting group. Shout outs to all the Trump supporters. But the group was pumping out information as news that wasn't fact. It was just a lot of lies. It was just lies,
Yeah.
both sides of whatever party you represent or whatever you support, they both do it. But this specific group was very popular and it was labeled as news.
Interesting.
But some of the stories they were putting out as fact were insane. It's like no wonder why, certain people support certain parties or certain people or whatever it is,
right?
Because they think that these things are really happening, things that are like preposterous,
Interesting.
And I don't even want to say certain things because I don't want to give light to a lot of negative stuff. But Facebook is facing a lot of backlash, but other social media sites are.
Didn't something happen with Twitter banning something to do with Trump because of something not being factual until he retracts?
That's another thing. Twitter fact checked another Trump.
It was Trump himself.
Yeah, another Trump tweet,
right? Which
happened before, but now it says it on the tweet. Because he's just putting out things that are not facts.
You think that he actually believes this, or
Trump?
Yeah.
I think
I think people in general believe just what they hear.
Yeah, I think things are. I think the responsibility though of a president isn't to put out your opinion on something as fact. I think it's totally irresponsible. Whatever his belief is, that's totally different from fact.
Which is that's not the reason why we always employ people to always look these things up. Self-education is important. Anyone can make a mistake. We want to try to help people educate themselves as we educate ourselves. I think that's commendable for Twitter to take a stance like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if because he's not popular as he once was, after 4 years has passed, that they would have the courage to then do that.
Well, he's putting out more reckless things, you know what I mean? And I don't mean him, I don't even mean what he's saying. I mean, reckless is like, just guys, look it up, man. Just, look up the things he's saying out as facts that are just totally not even, there's no merit to it, nothing
right.
supporting it, not even ideas to support
Interesting.
anything. It's just almost like someone came up to him and said, hey, Trump, by the way, this is happening.
Right.
And he's like, oh my God, the people have to know.
Got
He just puts it out, and people like.
Yeah, you think people are like? I wonder if people are taking advantage of him knowing this.
No, I think so. I really think there are people around him,
right,
that are sabotaging his campaign.
Well, I'm not definitely defending him. I just wonder, and I've wondered this for the longest time.
No, it has to be someone in his ear that is like totally just like. And I think Biden's another one. They just both get sabotaged every other day.
Interesting.
But he's worse though. He says things that are just not true. And I'm not saying, listen, this ain't a political thing. I'm not saying vote for anybody. I'm just saying exactly what he's doing, which is putting out things that are not facts. That's just what it is. I'm not saying I support him or don't, or for you to support him or not. It's just what's going on. But what the problem is that social media is giving him strikes, or they're telling him this is not true.
Right.
And he's like, that's not your job.
Which reminds me,
which isn't their job though.
And speaking of social media, Ellen DeGeneres.
Generous.
Yeah.
But whatever works for you. Tomato.
Apparently, rumor has it that she's having issues with there's been reported, alleged that she's rude, she's mean to her audience, and
she's always like that. I don't really, even from her early career, you can see it in her stand-up, she's always been Ellen. I think the rumor is more that she creates a hostile environment, especially for people of color. That was the rumor that's going on.
Okay.
As a person, she's rude and mean, but I don't care. Like, what's the problem?
Right. I wonder how that goes.
It really depends on where it goes to how mean she is.
Okay.
I feel like people should be how they want, and you could comment on how she's acting and behaving, but I don't think she should be forced into a corner to make a video crying on camera to say I'm sorry for being who she is.
I mean, is that what she did?
Yeah.
You think it's genuine, or do you feel like
she's generally upset and hurt that she hurt people maybe? But I just don't think that she should have to do that. I don't even like the show like that, to be honest. I don't go out my way to watch the show ever. Right. I just know who she was. prior to the show, which is she's very successful. She's one of the most successful hosts on TV.
Right.
I mean, she's good at what she does. She's charismatic. She's actually funny. She should be herself. And
Okay.
But I mean, everybody has their own different opinion on it. I just think it's just we living in a world where you can't even be yourself. You got to be high all the time in a specific way.
Yeah, you got to be always doing act. So like, I'm wondering. I'm not again.
She's not a public official. Look at the way Trump behaves versus her. She's not even a public official, but she has to make apologies. I just don't. I don't get that.
So she's so. I don't know. I just kind of wondered to myself. Everybody is not always nice at every single time, and I'm definitely not speaking up for her or anybody. I just think that there's so many different characters in the world. You know, at the same time, if someone is popular enough, people would deal with being ridiculed just to be in an audience for someone that's famous, and then still complain about it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Shout outs to her and her camp and her family.
Yeah.
Shout outs to everyone that worked for her, and I hope whatever environment she's responsible for, she's just more careful with it, but she continues to be herself. Because I think without that I don't want to say she's an asshole. She's
right.
But then she's not really her anymore. So it's like
I see what you're saying. That she has to be extra.
Like even
not saying that she's not saying that she isn't nice, but like what she has to be extra nice. She might have to start giving people cupcakes and hugs.
Yeah, if you watch interviews with her guests, the one from what I watch, like I said, I don't watch a show like that. She's mean to some people.
Got it.
All right, you going on her show. You know what I mean? That's her thing. If you don't like it, then don't go on her show. I think it's different. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. If somebody does something like I seen Jay-Z, somebody pushed. It looked like to be his bodyguard. Paparazzi, people that's taking pictures, literally pushed one of his bodyguards. You know, and the guy that did it wasn't necessarily as tall as his bodyguard, and Jay-Z looked like he defended him verbally, like what's going on with you kind of thing, like respect, you know what I mean? And somebody could take that out of content where they could be like, oh, Jay-Z's being rude. But, you know, the way I saw it was just what it was. You disrespected his bodyguard, which was you know, unnecessary completely. There's no excuse for that. Yeah. Just to try to start something, you know, and it's like you know, that particular person, it seems like he's willing to do whatever and hoping that maybe he gets beat up and then he has a lawsuit, whatever the case may be. I mean, I'm beginning to think that way about certain people. Yeah. I mean, it's some people with certain jobs and specific titles take advantage of certain freedoms and positions. So it's hard to, you know, maybe Ellen is crazy. You know, she is the devil. Who knows? You know what I mean? Right. I'm just saying from the standpoint of saying that she's mean and rude. You know what I'm saying? Well, so I don't know. Maybe she's rude to the point where she's disrespectful. But you
that's
know what?
A different story.
And then I do wonder. Like I read somewhere where someone said the top 10 people that ruin their own careers. Who gives them the right to decide who ruins whose career? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's another thing about this cancel culture thing that is just like such a joke.
Just because someone prints or writes someone's career is over doesn't necessarily mean it is. Unless we buy into that. That's what I'm saying.
We live we live in a society where careers are built on bad press anyway. I don't remember the last time I thought about Ellen.
Well, yeah, that's kind of true.
I mean, bad press got Trump the election, so shout out to that.
Which reminds me, I seen 6ix9ine on this train yesterday.
We cannot escape these 5 names, man. But go ahead.
No, we haven't spoken about 6ix9ine for a minute. But he makes me laugh.
Nah, he's a funny dude, man.
You know, I text on that something about have fun, bro. Live your life. Have fun, man. He got on the train and he was just laying down, and you know, and then he took a picture next to a big blown up rat, like when you know, and he makes me laugh, man.
I mean, he's having fun. He's paying $1 million per year on you know, security. And shout out to those security guards. I hope them and their families stay safe. And,
definitely.
He was locked up for a little while, I guess. You know.
Right.
Some people may not agree with how long he was locked up. But right now he's free, so he's gonna live it up. He's gonna have fun. And
I mean, he's gonna make the best of the time he has, and
I don't look at him as trolling right now at this point. I think he's having fun, being silly, and
looks like.
I mean, going to the skydiving place and stuff. So
he has so many views and so many likes. He has more views and likes than most celebrities.
But everyone hates him, but yet we all still find out what's going on.
I don't particularly hate him, but I see.
No one hates him. It's just propaganda. The same thing that.
Yeah.
I think it's the same people saying this guy's career is over. Ellen's mean and rude, so we cancel her. The same.
People live by these codes, and so I think it's just so controlling. And I've said this so many times.
Right.
People just have the right to decide who they like, or for whatever reason, if they like them, and for people to get mad at that, I mean, it's very controlling. I don't think they realize how controlling they really are, just because you disagree with somebody.
Speaking of that, I was misinformed about something I said on the show a couple shows ago. So I said, shouts to Kanye West. We bringing up the same names. The Power Rangers, right? I said that he couldn't run for president.
Right.
Which he couldn't a specific way.
Okay.
But apparently, he can still run for president.
Yes, and that's because and misinformation that we get. We keep getting this. Oh, he didn't make the ballot, or he didn't have enough money. Like, we keep hearing all these sources that aren't accurate at all.
So, and these are from credible sources.
I'm not making excuses from you, but I've read and heard the same exact things you've heard, and then all of a sudden they switch up.
So when I said it, I was listening to the show. I listened back on the show. I'm like, let me just make sure, because I'm still reading certain things, and I looked it up, and it's like, well, apparently, we have to retract what we said, but we didn't make a statement retracting. So it's like, a catch-22 with that. But I don't want to say something and leave it out there knowing that, it was false information. So, like we always say,
but that's just the same as with the stimulus check. We were told that the stimulus check was passed.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Right.
It's still in negotiations.
Right. It's stages of negotiations, and even with that's why we said it specifically a certain way with Trump, doing what he did recently, which is
what's that?
He's doing an executive order because apparently Democrats and Republicans can't come to a single thing.
Well, that's everything is alleged. Everything is an alleged. I mean, that's just the way it is.
All of it is nothing. All of it is literally buying time. I mean, I said this before.
Well, I mean, he did say something about we should wait off on voting, but yet
we don't need that.
But yet, open schools, right?
Yeah.
So what's that about? What's when we talk about
shout outs
safety,
to Governor Cuomo.
New
York City, we officially
we are a go apparently, but that
open up schools.
But I gotta say, that's still alleged. But it all again.
It's up to the districts.
If you get 2% of cases, it's okay. As soon as it goes 3, so if it's 3 children in school affected, I don't know if it applies to teachers and staff and faculty. Once you get that 3rd, they close school automatically.
Right, which is cool.
Right. So let's see how that goes.
It's gonna be a seasonal thing, man.
You know what I noticed? A lot of Catholic schools in New York is closed or closing down.
No, everything's mandatory. That's the first time in history they've ever done that.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's a fact. We looked that up.
Yeah, I went to a get together yesterday for a Catholic school that's closing down.
You know what else is closed?
What's that?
E-News.
E-News?
Yeah.
Really?
After almost 30 years, because of COVID, they're officially done.
Are you serious?
That's another fact.
Interesting.
Everything's closing, man. Ways of life. Models is next.
Well, Models. I did not know, speaking of closing, we spoke about it on the last show, but I did not know that Sprint was around for 120 years.
It was sending like messages on birds before or something? What's up?
Well, apparently they called like the Brown telephone company or something like that.
What year was I gotta look up the year.
That's
crazy.
1899.
Wow.
1899.
Why do I think
almost
like 120 years is like
1860?
I'm like, We like we're
almost 1900.
Yeah.
1899.
When someone says 10 years ago, for me it's still like 2000.
Got it.
No, I mean, how you know you're getting old.
Time, I don't know about that. Time just flies by and you just make the best of it. But I think it's interesting how T-Mobile bought Sprint for $26.5 billion.
Is that a lot of money?
That's
a lot, but is it a lot?
It's not a lot for someone that's been around for almost 121 years.
I wonder what
versus what some companies are worth now, and when they started out, like Amazon, for instance.
Look up how much money Yahoo lost by not selling early in their career.
Okay. And, no, I see what you're saying.
So it's like, I guess they're like.
But if Sprint was losing money for a long time and they still got almost $30 billion, I guess that's a come up.
I ain't mad at $30 billion.
You know, $26.5 billion. I'm
just saying versus how much things like Amazon makes or, Netflix.
Customer service, though, for instance, like, do you think the customer service is going to change on Sprint? Well, or should I say
T-Mobile?
Is it going to get worse because now T-Mobile owns them?
I think everything's going to get worse the less big companies we have. It's going to get...
Right.
It's like, if you don't like us, go deal with, the cup and a string mobile. So.
Wow. Well, I don't know. I'm hoping that the customer service gets... It's hard to find a company with good customer service.
But T-Mobile, for me, my experience with them, which I miss. T-Mobile, you want to sponsor, man? Shut up. But yeah, with them, they've been fine with me. I've always got everything figured out. Okay. So
well,
so
that's gonna be quite interesting. I wonder how that's gonna go.
But yeah, I mean, I brought up the whole Kanye thing for the simple fact that misinformation is very prevalent right now in our society. That we need to understand what's fake news and what's real news, and we have to fact check ourselves and other people, not just go by what we hear.
Yeah.
Whether it's this show or whether it's CNN, even now, CNN, or
BBC News.
And where we heard a lot of these things that seem to be facts, but they're not facts anymore. And it kind of brings a little bit of credence to the term fake news, right?
Interesting.
But
fake news. What are you gonna do?
But yeah, I brought the Kanye West thing up to say that your boy Nick Cannon, he wants to be like hated or something.
Why you say that?
Well, his last scandal was the thing he said about what he said about Jewish people and who's supposed to be
the original
who's
Jew?
Alleged to be original Jew or Jewish and who's not. But now he's giving his support to Kanye West, saying, and this is the controversial thing that I cannot mess with, but to each his own. We need another black man in office. He's speaking about Kanye West, and I have a problem with that statement.
Why?
Because do we need another black man in office? Sure, but do we need just any black man in office?
But what about white men? Do we normally have any white man in office?
Apparently not. You know what I mean? I don't think we need Kanye West in office.
But who do we know? At least we know Kanye West more than
I don't know Kanye West.
We don't know. We know that he has like breaks. We know that he's passionate about things.
Right.
We don't know anybody else's true intentions anyway.
I seen Kanye West go from one extreme to the next within a month, and I appreciate Kanye for everything he does, but I do not want my life
in the hands of Kanye West.
Yeah.
What about Trump?
I know it sounds crazy, but so far so good. Shout outs to so
far so good. Like you mean the ultimate possibility of I'm not gonna throw it out there, but so far so good.
So far we still alive.
So far it hasn't gotten as bad as it definitely could get.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when Trump won,
and
where I worked at the time,
right,
people were crying and devastated because they thought we were gonna die.
I know a lot of people that were very depressed. That's actually true. Now that I think about it,
right.
there was a lot of people just really bent out of shape.
And in shock and literally afraid for their lives. There are people that have done worse things than just be mad. So
but
it's
then,
just...
But then, lately, people has been brave enough to say that they have voted for Trump.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So you just kind of wonder, are those the same people that pretended?
So, I mean, the whole thing of the reason why they even bring up the Kanye situation or the conversation is, it is really not that out of left. It's really not that crazy to think he has a chance. People really think
I think he absolutely has a chance.
But just like people said Trump had no chance, your boy.
How many people thought that Barack Obama Jr. had a chance?
I mean, Barack Obama was a decorated politician.
Absolutely. But again, how many people actually thought he was going to win with all the obvious education that he has? How many people actually thought he was going to win? That's my thing. They would have thought of any I would say white politician would have won just because.
Right.
Because that's what like the society and culture is used to.
Well, I mean, if you look at the history of politics, it all lines up with who was supposed to win regardless. They say the votes don't matter anyway. I mean, we especially learned that when Al Gore lost to George Bush in their presidential race. You know, we learned the electoral votes then, and then we learned about it again. You know, with Trump. So it's like, you know, we learned different things, and now even with certain things in play, we don't know now what's next. It's predicted that Joe Biden is gonna win this next term.
Well,
I'm gonna make my prediction. I think Joe Biden does win.
Okay.
But not like everyone thinks.
You know what?
And I don't think things are gonna be...
Quietly, I think that Kanye West has a good chance to win if he stays there. That's the crazy thing.
The United States is a whole troll.
That's the crazy thing if he stays
we all get Yeezys from stimulus package.
I mean, I'm just saying, would you actually be surprised if Kanye West won? Would you be surprised, honestly?
In 2020, nah.
Right.
We're in the twilight zone.
We've been in the twilight zone since the coronavirus.
Yeah, since Trump, to be honest. I've been in...
Well...
And I'm not even saying about Trump. I'm saying in general, like everything that has happened.
2020, we got the coronavirus. We have the
killer bees and hornets protesting.
Right. Yeah. We have a lot of different things going on.
Yeah. Celebrity deaths out of this world.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant.
And, you know, I just got to say, I got to remember Kobe Bryant because there's so many things going on. People forget.
Kobe Bryant was a devastating thing for me.
Yeah, that hurt a lot.
It feels like, even though he's human, and like, you know, people forget, it's just such a surreal feeling. And I know people that died in real life, so it's kind of like, you would think it's not so much of a difference, but it was. It is.
And he was already a legend.
Right,
by the way.
Right.
He wasn't a legend because
he
of
died.
What? Exactly. Yeah. He was already a legend. He was already a living legend.
Yeah.
Ironically speaking.
I mean, you know, that's gonna happen forever. If someone dies prematurely before reaching their
right,
they're gonna give him that title.
Well, and you know, I want to give 5 stars to the gentleman that I was speaking with today actually, and he was just, you know, nice guy. You know, I don't like to pry too much, but you know, I see him sometimes, whatever, and we just started talking. And, you know, he was telling me about how, you know, he makes, you know, at his job, which, you know, he works at like a fish market, and he was just telling me, showed me some pictures of his dad and his family and how he sends money to his country. And they have like food pantries where his dad, you know, and whoever else is helping him out, they get food for people and stuff like that. And
that's nice.
You know, it's great. And you know, it's funny because, like, people have these images based on the social media. I wouldn't say social media, but the news outlets always paint a whole entire country. You look at a country as being bad.
Desolate.
Yeah, like
a desert.
You're not even thinking that there are people helping people in these countries.
Right.
You know? So I want to give 5 stars to him and his dad.
I mean, all that's to make your own countries feel like it's better than everything else. So I'm not saying America is not the greatest country in the world.
And we do know that crimes and different things happen in every country.
Yeah. it's just by design that we feel that other countries don't have things like that going on, or they don't have cities or towns, and just, you know, they live like us. They have pretty much.
Which is why I always like to talk to people. I don't just want to, you know,
go by the BBC News.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I know Trump's all over this episode, but apparently he is giving TikTok 21 days to sell their corporation.
And who was it? Windows. Who was it? Microsoft.
Right.
Microsoft has confirmed, but I'm gonna still say allegedly, in negotiations of actually buying. And I did hear Trump say something about they should give some of their money up or something like. That's just a lot of. I ain't getting into that. Alleged, but yeah.
Microsoft, that'd be cool. I'm not mad at that. Microsoft, all these, it's gonna be 10 top companies. We all know this. You know what I mean?
Wow.
TikTok answered with they might file a suit against Trump.
Hey, don't they have the right to do that?
I don't know how that works, man.
I don't know how it works either.
I have to really do some research on how that would work.
Well,
if that would even be
an outside entity from a different country following a lawsuit in this country. I don't see how that could work.
Well, Trump's thing is, you know, they're infringing on national security, which is serious.
Well, yeah, if you have another country that has Americans' personal information, in a way, it could be considered spying.
No, it's spying. It's spying. If they can see information that's not public.
But yeah, they have information. If you buy, because you can purchase gifts to give to broadcasters on TikTok.
Right.
So
I mean, it's not even just that. It's credit card information. It's locations. Like, if they have different set of rules that you're agreeing to and that you don't understand.
Yeah.
Or like, even if it's the English language, you know, we all know contracts is literally the definition of negotiating at all times. It's never something set in stone in contracts. They're always renegotiated.
Well, transit. But that reminds me.
Right.
That reminds me because the transit app from New York City.
Right.
They ask you if you want real time, 24 hours, 7 days a week, that they can track you. So that way, if you want to take public transportation, it's in real time, accurately better for you. You're giving they're asking for permission for you to be tracked.
It's never that important to get somewhere.
Absolutely never that important.
Right.
I'm totally 100% against something like that.
I mean, all of
There's
that is just for
no
data.
need for it.
You know, data is, like I said before in the show, data is really the new that's the new currency. Once you have data on somebody, you can, in the future. And shout outs to HBO and Westworld. They touched on this.
Yeah, Westworld has probably the most science fiction, but the most realist understanding of how that works.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil any show for anyone, but I say that to say it points to the fact that data on people is giving these corporations the ability to predict what you need next. Not need next. What you want next. What to sell to you, what to put in your face, to advertise, and how to listen to you, you know. That's very dangerous. And not to mention what they can do with what they can predict, where they can steer you.
Absolutely.
You're losing, you know, choice, you know, little by little. And before you know it, you won't even realize that the decisions are being made for you and your children and so on. So
100%. We always talk about that, and we will always talk about things like that. You know, self-education is important, self-awareness important. You know, some people be like, oh, there's nothing you can do about it. Oh yeah, there is.
And this is why I'm so, you know, whoever you want to support in politics, that's on you. You know, I'm willing to debate, definitely willing to have a conversation with somebody about it. As long as they're fact driven, then I'm
you know, we're more than willing to discuss a lot of or any situation. We love to, you know, self-educate each other. You know, that's the whole point, right? Self-love. You know, positive vibes, pop culture that's in the news and outside of the news, actually, right? These are all the things we love to discuss on here on David Talks. By the way, May 21st, 2021. Can you believe?
What movie, man? I know you about to
Can you believe Godzilla versus Kong?
Oh, okay.
Let's go or let it go? What we doing?
I think because the last two Godzilla movies were so good,
Yeah.
I'm with the let's go.
Really?
I just don't understand what Kong's gonna even do to hanging that fight.
Well, they probably might. This is me as a writer. I'm thinking that they would convince people how strong gorillas are,
Okay.
right? And I think they're going to try to sell us the idea that gorillas are probably 10 times stronger than a man or whatever, and that could possibly be the case. However, there's been talks of things people could look up to see that in the Congo, there's been recorded that men actually kill gorillas with their bare hands.
I mean, listen. So with the movie that came out, the Kong that they're using was supposed to be set in the 50s when Kong was younger,
Right.
and now he's older. He's supposed to be bigger. I'm trying to sell you he's gonna get bigger and then he's gonna fight
How small
Godzilla.
is Godzilla going to be? I mean,
He's pretty big, but it compared to I don't really understand.
I don't
what's
understand
going
either,
on.
right? Because you're thinking of
In
like,
50 years, I know it sounds like weird because you're talking about fiction.
but yeah, and then you got the whole reptile kind of fire breathing Godzilla versus the gorilla.
Furball?
Yeah, like I don't see how that's gonna work out, right? Because if you have an alligator in the water versus like a tiger in the water,
Right.
usually the alligator's gonna win.
Right, for sure.
However, a lot of tigers actually hunt alligators in the water. They actually go in the water, grab one, pull them out. So it's going to be interesting how they're going to sell out to the audience to actually make it a believable and enjoyable movie.
Because even with fiction movies now, we all know that they make them as real to, as they can, or believable as they can. Even with the, superheroes or
Now,
Ghost.
that also reminds me of the director, the director that's going to be doing a Marvel movie.
All these directors and they all their goal is to stand out and have their own spin on things, but I think they're restricted now.
Well, it's a black woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, first black woman directing a Marvel.
Oh, that's fine.
Is it Thor? I believe.
Oh, Love and Thunder.
Is it
cool.
Thor?
I'm interested.
I think it's
Possible.
could be Thor.
But I feel like all these directors and stuff, they're all trapped by realism right now. I think they should just have fun, not worry about how the science everything. Sometimes it's just magic. We cool with magic.
I think it's great that they do have a black director, but I wonder if that sometimes kind of makes you wonder. I think it's nice. It does make you.
No, it's okay. We want a black director. We do want black directors. We do want black women directors as well. We just want black women directors that has work that would support that.
And she has all the
So
connections.
I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
So she's getting an opportunity, man. That's what's up.
Matter of fact, I think it's Captain America. It is Captain America. Now that I remember.
A Captain America movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely.
And
down
she
for
did something else, a couple of other things
Right.
that was very successful. Can't think of it, but
Well, so John Wick 3 and 4. I mean 4 and 5 is gonna be shot
one take.
one shot, one take.
Oh, beautiful.
So
I think that's better.
yeah,
Right?
I think it's
And
better.
I'm not saying because he's getting older. I just think that
Right.
it's nice to have the storyline
cohesive
matching up
and just, yeah.
and just
Not just like
picking up where it left
should we
off.
have a new movie or not? Yeah.
Yeah, then you have the actors. They changing the actors around.
That's the
and
worst.
You got to switch up the whole. You got to
Iron
make a
Man
lot
did
of
that. I've never recovered from that either. They took out
one of the Iron Mans I didn't like when it was a whole bunch of like Iron Man robots. I didn't really like that.
Iron Man 3. It's the
I
worst one.
didn't really like it at all.
Shout out to that movie.
Very
movie was trash.
Intellectually insulting.
Stupid movie. Shout outs to Iron Man.
But shout outs to the first Iron Man.
It was one of my favorite movies.
That was great. I love that.
Iron Man 2
he made it very realistic.
Iron Man 3 is a terrible movie.
Yeah, it was horrible. I'm sure they wouldn't forget it. I'm sure they wouldn't forget it. Well, we're good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling.
Thank you for watching David Talks.
Iron Man 3 was terrible.
See you again, guys.